Hey all, welcome to the Defiant Spirit. I want to share with you sort of a revisiting the crux of not only my work with individuals, the work of my own life, the work that I'm doing in all aspects of my life. If I can just give you the gift of one concept, right? It's not mine. I just want to give you this gift that is really the synthesis of two great traditions, the Enneagram and the work of Viktor Frankl, logotherapy. And that's the crossroads that I hang out at. It can be a lonely crossroads because it's just me, myself, and I, evolving it. But what I'm finding is lots of people are attracted to it because each of these systems stands on its own and really benefits by that crossroads being brought together at that intersection. So I want to share with you in visual form. If you're not listening, if you're not watching this and you're only listening to this, I'm happy to get you these infographics. I'll put them on my website. But I developed this one for the Meaning Academy. That's my other hat. Defiant Spirit is my private practice, and the Meaning Academy is my group practice with my fellow logotherapists, Dr. Daniel Franz and Dr. Elise Cortez. And so, but this is true wherever you find it and whoever you are. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom and our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our happiness. You've heard me share this quote before. You've probably heard it before. It's one of Viktor Frankl's more famous quotes. It has everything we need to understand how to live a life of meaning, purpose, and resilience. So what is Dr. Frankl saying? I want to break it down. I just sort of gloss over it or I breeze through it too often. Let's break it down. And I've broken it down. So in this, if you're listening, I have a picture of really, as I see it, this quote as a graph. And it has three parts: stimulus, space, choice. Because what Frankl is saying in this is stimulus happens, stimuli happen all the time. Would be a good bumper sticker, wouldn't it? Shit happens, stimuli happens. Things happen to us. We live in a chaotic world. We're bombarded all day, every day by stimuli of all kinds. Most of them don't get to us. Most of them we tune out. But much of it, much of the time, causes us to go into reaction, to survival mode, to fear, to fight, freeze, flight, whatever you want to call it. You know it when you're in it. Actually, you don't know it when you're in it, but those around you can see it when you're in it. You don't know it. I don't know it because when we're in it, our world gets real small real quickly. Our world literally shrinks. Our body shrinks when you're in this place of reaction. Isn't it interesting that all life forms get smaller when they're in fear? I mean, think about it. Out in the wild, I saw a turtle with my kids, I don't know, a few months ago. We were out hiking, we saw a turtle. We got up close to it and whoop, it pulls its head back and it tucks up and it gets small. Things either get small or they get artificially big, but it's not an authentic big. It's a fear. It's a blowing up. It's a posturing. We go away. And people do this all the time. In my counseling practice, I see people will be standing there, yet disappearing in plain sight when we come up to something that's difficult, something that's dark, something that's dangerous. And so we're in reaction. And when we're in reaction, we constrict, we get smaller. In mystical language, Kabbalah says this is Mitzrayim, Egypt, not a geographical place, but a place of narrowness, of literally, Mitzrayim in Hebrew means constriction. It was a mental state of the slaves, the Israelites. When they were in slavery, they got smaller. Their identity was reduced. They were reduced down to a number. Right? Viktor Frankl on his arm, 119104. The Nazis reduced him to a number. We all get reduced to numbers, or we reduce ourselves to numbers, to data points, to just an organism here to survive. And that space gets small. And that's the work. That's the opportunity. That's where the Enneagram helps me do this work. The Enneagram is the space between stimulus, things happening to us, we're going to naturally go into reaction. We're going to get small. We're going to go into fear. And then the Enneagram presents to us 9 pathways to get larger, to expand that space. Isn't it interesting? As another teacher of mine, Dr. Wayne Dyer of blessed memory, said, all religious traditions call their deity, their God, the same name. It sounds a little different, but it's the same name. God, Yah, Buddha, Krishna, Shekhinah, Jehovah, Yeshua, which is Hebrew for Jesus. Ah. It's always an ah sound. Why? Because ah is expansive. It's a primal knowing that the infinite, that the source is expansive. It's limitless. It's without end. Our work, the Enneagram, are just fundamental energies built into the fabric of creation, all of which are in you. Yes, you have one go-to strategy, and we're going to get into it, where you go when you're in fear, but we have 9 pathways out of that fear, 9 ways to expand the space so that we can get to the other side of it and do what? To choose our response, because in our response lies our growth and our happiness. So what is the Enneagram? It's not who you are. You're not a number. You're never a number. The Enneagram simply points out 9 places you go when you're in fear, when you're in survival, when you're in fight or freeze or flight, when you're in reaction. It's not that you're an Enneagram 1. It's that you're not dealing with your anger and your resentments. It's not that you're an Enneagram 8, that you're lustful and vengeance. It's that you're in fear, and that comes out as excess, as intensity. As a 9, you're not a 9. You go to sloth, you slow down, you become lethargic around conflict, around things or people that make you afraid. All 9 of these energies are within us, and we're going to go to one of them as a survival tactic. Why? Because it works. Why does the turtle pull his head into the shell? Because it works. However, the turtle has no choice. He or she must live in a place of reaction, of survival. But neither you nor I are here to survive. That is a starting point. And these reactions serve us until they don't, because we're no longer on the savannah being hunted by the woolly mammoth, needing to live in that level of fear. Yes, there are moments when we have to do triage, when we have to kick into our reaction mode to save our lives, but those actions are few and far between. And the truth is, we stop paying attention to them. We start getting into the routine, to the rut. A rut is simply a grave with both ends knocked out. We end up living and not really living because we're surviving. We're stuck in survival mode. These are 9 pathways to show you where you've gotten lost, where you've become a number, where you've reduced yourself to a number, not the test that I give you and not the Enneagram itself. You have done that all by yourself, and you will find your pathway out, using this roadmap, the Enneagram, to get back to that place of choosing your response. So the Enneagram 9's pathway is this, and the Enneagram 7's pathway is that. And again, all of these are within you. And what we do using the Enneagram is we learn how to expand the space, right? So that when my famous example is when somebody cuts me off in traffic, before I give them the half the peace sign, this is only half the peace sign, I start expanding the space, and I breathe, and I think, and I have empathy, and maybe I choose to get angry. Maybe there's a time and the place for that, but more often than not, I'll choose to expand the space and take back my power to choose my response. And that's the work of the Enneagram. So we can stop living in reaction, choose our response, and find our way back in this life. 9 pathways to lose ourselves, 9 pathways back to our true self, away from the false self, back to the true self, back to the true you. And that's the work of the Enneagram. And that's the work that we're here to do. If you want more, I got more all day, every day on Frankl and on the Enneagram. And bringing these things together, I am offering for you different pathways to integrate this into your life. You can take an assessment online, a very high-end assessment where I give you back all of your data in a format of the Defy Your Number system. If you like these concepts, you'll love the format that it comes back in. You can buy that. You can buy that plus a consulting session with me to talk through. You can buy a do-it-yourself program where you simply buy the intro to the Enneagram program called Own Your Number. All of this is on the website. You can get it pretty clearly, or you can do the free Discover Your Number program. So defiantspirit.org, you can just start with Discover Your Number and figure out where you go when you're in fear, how you can get out of your fear and choose your path back to the true you, to choose your response. And that's what it means to live responsibly, able to choose your response. And that's my hope and wish for you as we go into this Hanukkah and this Christmas and this New Year season, that this is a new year for you, where you stop living in reaction to your circumstances and you take back your power to choose your response. I'll see you over at defiantspirit.org.